So one of the things that sports have been looking to apply in the last few years, and something that I think sports have learned from some other areas of performance, is the idea of empowering the members of the team in terms of whether it's leadership, whether it's the decision-making process, recognising that quite often top-down control isn't the best way to go in terms of getting the best out of a team. And I mean, you do find teams at different stages of the development. If you've got quite a young, inexperienced team, there might be more control and more direction provided by the manager or coaches in terms of what performance might look like. But as teams evolve and become more grown up, more experienced, what we're tending to see now is the really good managers, people like Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, for example, trusting players or members of the team to be able to be creative and innovative in performance. So they'll have a structure that they're playing to, but there is a lot of flexibility within that structure for players to respond to directly to the challenges that they're facing at that moment in time, which if you empower people to do that, their problem solving ability increases. They're far better placed to come up with innovative strategies, because you can't prepare for every eventuality. You just can't do it. There's lots you can prepare for, and if you're really controlled in telling people what to do, when something unexpected happens, they don't have the capacity to do anything because they're waiting for instruction. They're waiting for you to tell them what to do, which isn't a great situation to be in, because even in team sports where you might have a controlling manager at the side of the pitch, and I'm thinking, that the ultimate example of that would be NFL, that, you've got coaches calling all of the plays, but actually the quarterback's still empowered to make a different decision. That the more there is that degree of creativity, the better you are able to come up with solutions. And though in that situation, the less likely you are to be read by the opposition, because if you don't know exactly what you're going to do, they definitely don't know what you're going to do. So I think it's very much about empowering people and including them as part of the process, and recognising lots of us have been in positions of leadership and management. And actually the way you get the best out of people is recognising that everyone is an expert. So I'm an expert in psychology, but if I was coming to work with your organisation or your team, I know next to nothing about your organisation or team. You know far more than me. If I'm working with a coach who coaches 10-year-old kids to play soccer, I haven't coached 10-year-old kids how to play soccer. I might have coached 10-year-old kids to play soccer in England. I've got no idea what it's like coaching 10-year-old kids on the East Coast, West Coast, or wherever in America. So I think once we recognise that everyone is an expert in their own life, their own lived experience, and we empower people to feel that they're both worthy and at the same level, that we're all equals, then that's when you start getting some really fantastic solutions, and communication's better, and you get more constructive dialogue and constructive criticism, because people feel empowered to share their views, because they think that actually my view does have value, rather than what quite often happens is in hierarchical structures is people at the top have a view and people at the bottom won't challenge it because they're at the bottom and people at the top are at the top. So I think if you create that idea, I know there's the famous JFK quote, isn't there, about the person mopping the floor and about how they're helping put a man on the moon. That type of idea, that if you recognise that everyone is of value in your team, in your organisation. And I remember when I worked in professional cricket in England, worked with Somerset County Cricket Club, probably our best season, where I say the best season, we were runners up in every competition, but Somerset's quite a small club, so it was a fantastic achievement. But right from the start of the season, we'd brought everyone in. Everyone had been involved in setting the target, the direction that the club was going to take that year, the vision, the values. It was a collective process, and the coaches fed into it, the head coach kind of stroke manager fed into it, but their voice was only as influential as everyone else's voice. So it was very much discussions in that way, and it was discussions in typical psychological manner. So people started off working in pairs, and then you build up into larger groups. So you've got dialogue going up, people have to negotiate what are their biggest priorities, and then you feed those things together. But by bringing everyone in, having everyone involved, everyone left those sessions feeling ownership of where the club was going, and felt that it was their club, they were their goals, and those were their people. And the culture that created was fantastic in the club.